Hello and welcome to video number 9C on our Most Accurate Clock on Earth series. Today's video we're going to look at my new design, the PLeane Pendulum number 4, and how it's evolving. If you look at our last video, number 9B, it was we're looking at how the bob was actually revolving, and we're still investigating that. And number 4, pendulum number 4, PLeane pendulum number 4, actually goes more into that. Also look at pendulum accuracy and a magnet travelling through the Earth's magnetic field. I think we have to look at that and bring that in, an introduction into that. Decoupling from the Earth, we have to talk about that. We cannot leave decoupling alone, unfortunately, because, as you know, our Foucault Pendulum is the only linear frame of reference that we can actually generate. The rest of everything else out there is a rotating frame of reference, so now we have to be decoupled from the Earth to make sure that happens. To talk about this Holy Spirit versus AI. Now, as you know, I'm a Christian. I'm a work in progress there. And you may not realise, but I'm under an extreme lot of pressure when I'm with this Foucault Pendulum. There's a lot of people watching this. The Foucault Pendulum was the first serious scientific experiment that could be reproduced by anyone, that virtually it changed how we looked at the Bible and the flat earth and the stationary earth. Up until then, back in 1851, most people didn't argue too much that the earth was stationary, but this experiment, Foucault's pendulum, was a king hit, and after that the church had to change its direction, and it was the most significant factor that changed a lot of people. And my experience is virtually 2015, when I asked my pastor, I asked him a question: is the earth stationary? And he quivered and he shaked when he told me the answer, and he basically said this. He said, "Peter, the earth, as we know from NASA and everything, the earth is revolving, and the Bible talks in riddles and it talks in metaphors. So we know for a fact that the earth is revolving." But as he was saying that, his voice was quivering. And I was quite moved emotionally just to watch how he was, in his heart, I knew he was he lying? I couldn't see inside his heart. Only God can do that. But after that, I said, well, what is the point of going beyond page 2 of the Bible if page 1 has a lie in it? And that's where I am up to now with this, proving this Foucault Pendulum. There's no point. And I agree with the atheists here. Why turn to page 2 of the Bible when page 1 could be lying? What's the significance of that? If there's a lie on page 1, then the book, throw it away. It's nothing. And the atheists are correct. So, a little bit of the pressure I'm under. There's a lot of pressure on me too, and I'm alone on this. I have not taken this Foucault Pendulum. I've taken this beyond anyone has ever taken these experiments. We're up to almost 40 experiments. These experiments you see, not the experiments that I do behind the scenes. The money I've invested, the time I've invested, it's significant. And I'm doing this because there is this will change things. This will change physics. This will change academia, how we look at and how we've appreciated academia and trusted academia. It's enormous. Look at my videos. I'm getting 50 views, 20 views. Some child makes a little video on the Foucault Pendulum. He gets 1,000, 2,000 views. That's shadow banding. You know, someone is out there trying to stop this knowledge getting out. And I'm alone. People will not comment in my comments. They're too frightened to talk in my comments because, and that's fair enough. I can understand that. You get sort of pigeonhole. It could be a flat earther. You're associating with a flat earther, or me. I'm a bit of an eccentric anyway. So I have to sort of explain to you my relationship with the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to talk about that later in this as we go into this. But right now, let's just focus on facts and back to the pendulum. And the big one is, as you might know, I'm getting ready to. The pendulum is my new pendulum is designed is ready to be mechanically assisted from now on, and no longer swing just and deteriorate through. It has to be rejuvenated through methods, so it swings for at least several weeks. So, what at the moment, the main system at the moment for doing this is we can have two magnets at the top, swinging the pendulum from the top, and that seems to have a lot of problems, a lot of controversy about that, whether we put the magnets at the top and rejuvenate the swing from, could it be off a little bit? Could it introduce a bias? So there seems to be the most, most accurate method is to pulse the pendulum as it swings over the center position as it swings past the magnet at the bottom. So now this again has to be extremely accurate. We have to be laser precision here. Just to gain a few millimeters off and you'll bias the pendulum left to right, or clockwise or anti-clockwise. So this is my dilemma. This is the thing I'm sort of working in the background. I'm on my own with this. Bleeding heart, feel sorry for me sort of thing. It's not that bad. I enjoy it. I enjoy this. I just love this experiment. But I have to go to myself, my own resources, and many experiments go and fail, and you don't see them. So this is where I'm going at the moment. I'm going for this setup here. I think that's the most accurate. With my lasers, I can actually get pretty accurate with pulsing the exact centre of the bob, and I have been able to find the exact centre with those spinning tests, etc., etc. Quickly, just go into this Holy Spirit versus AI. Now, I've had this thing happen to me 3 times, and it's weird. Now, basically, for you atheists out there, what do we talk about the Holy Spirit? I agree with you. What us Christians on about? We've probably never explained it. Basically, we've got God and us humans, and if you go back to the beginnings of the Bible, in the Garden of Eden we sinned and we became flawed, and we no longer could talk to to God directly. So God brought a interface between us humans and God, and it was called Jesus. And you can think of it like a few technical people out there, you can think of it a matching Bellum transformer. So it matches God to us humans, because we're so full of sin and so ugly to him that he can't look at us. So we need Jesus as an interface. Now, at the moment you say that you call upon Jesus, now this could happen to you. It can happen to you in many ways. To me, it was a slow progress. My flat earth friend, he had an instant. It was scary. He went from the most staunch atheist to a Christian in a millisecond. What he had experienced one night was he seen the light of Christ, and he went. His experience still shakes me to this day when he describes it to me. And as you know, he's the one that inspired me to start on this journey of looking at the flat Earth and all these experiments, from whether we did the telescope to the my latest pendulum experiments, right through to those Galilean experiments with the rolling balls. All that stuff is still a part of what he his experiment, what he says to me. Now when he went from this light of Christ experience, he would come to me and ask physics and mathematical solutions. But when it happened to him, I was going to him. He changed within a week. He actually cracked this Foucault Pendulum back in 2015. He told me how they do it, how they fake it, if they were faking it. And I have not, after 10 years of experiments, I still not have been able to come close to what his experiment were, what he predicted in, and he did in a week. I left him with a crude pendulum, and a week later he told me exactly how it works and how it could be faked. And I'm still experimenting to this day. His mathematics leaves me for dead now. I can't even comprehend where he is. So I tell you now, this Christian thing is something to be looked at. So where are we with AI? AI is basically us humans call upon a supercomputer that virtually can put together all the knowledge of man, and instantly every bit of knowledge that's been written in a book or a YouTube clip, it can search it within seconds and come back with an answer, a probability of the correct answer. Now, as you might know, you've heard that people actually want to go beyond the realm of a human. They want to go into the spiritual world, and that's what they believe that CERN is into. CERN is taking the supercomputer into the spiritual world, that we can communicate to the spirits directly through that interface between the physical world and the quantum point of virtually nothing. So a particle may exist that can carry information across from the spiritual world to the physical world. But for me, I have a thing called the Holy Spirit. Now what happens the moment you call upon Jesus and you say to Jesus, please help me, I believe you came and you died for me, and I need your help. The moment that happens, you download an app called the Holy Spirit. Now, what happens there is you might call upon, you have a tough problem. Now, I've come across a tough problem here. This pendulum has stumped me. And about 3 months ago, I gave up a bit. I just said to Jesus, look, I need some help. I can't take this beyond the knowledge I've got now. And a strange thing happened to me, and it happened to me about a week ago, and the answer came. So let's now get on to how we're matching all this knowledge to my new pendulum and this Holy Spirit, this app that you download. I know it's weird, but it changes you. The moment you download this app, there's no going back. Your body, your mind, everything will change. You try to shake it away, you try to go back, but you can't. That's it. It's a one-way. It's a one-way app. You can't unload it. All right, so let's go now, and we'll just quickly go through the interface and how this happened, because I have to take you through each stage, because we're into a higher level now of understanding the pendulum, and we're talking about some new decoupling concepts way out there. This is above what you will read in textbooks and come across. So let's go, and enough talking, back to experiments. So here's basically a setup that led me down the path to this PLeane pendulum number 4. Bible, page 1. If page 1 is a lie, then why turn to page 2? So I call upon AI to help me solve this problem with this Foucault pendulum, understanding it. And AI, there's nothing out there. I've gone beyond any experiment that's ever been done. So I need extra help. So I called upon Jesus one day to give me help with this. And I just said, look, I need help with cracking this pendulum. And a week ago, it came to me. Now you might ask, the moment I say this, it's no longer, this knowledge is now, the moment I say this, what I've come up with, the knowledge now is out there, and AI, man's AI, has access to it. So this knowledge has come from God to me, now to the rest of mankind. So that's how AI works in my field. It's from supernatural, from my Creator. And you may say, well, there's nothing new out there under the sun, it's all been done before. Now, actually, I'll correct you on that because it hasn't been. Now, let's go to this little thing here. This is my invention, the PLeane gun. As you know, you've looked at my videos if you watched it. The concept was to stabilise a projectile, we use a rifling and a barrel to stabilise the projectile. I came up with the concept, well, how about we just spin the barrel instead of use rifling and see what happens. For those people who are into black powder experiments and round ball, you'd be very interested in this, because this little spring-loaded, it doesn't fire anything, it just spring-loaded and fires a little 4mm ball bearing. And it works on the principle of these Nerf guns, just a spring-loaded thing. And it's about as powerful as this Nerf gun. Now my experience with this was, I was at a barbecue and I was talking to a gun fanatic, and he was describing how he's into guns, and he was target shooting, high precision target shooting. And I said, well, I made a very accurate gun, probably the most accurate gun in the world, in fact. And of course he laughed a bit, chuckled, and then I described it to him, and I said, well, it works on the principle of spinning the barrel instead of using rifling. And I thought it was 10 seconds. I didn't watch his voice, but he didn't talk. For 10 seconds he was speechless. And I said to him, oh, well, you know, what's wrong with this, you know? Barrel spins rather than rifling. And he said, that is the most brilliant thing I've ever heard in my life. I said, oh, well, yeah, okay, it's pretty smart. I didn't think too much about it. He said, there are people, there's a billion guns in the world at the moment, and at least there'd be 100,000 people working on new innovations for our firearms. It's such a lucrative thing. Now that would go from sheer genius to amateur level. Everyone is interested in, you know, new concepts in guns. And yet, this has just happened. I said, oh, I see your point. Yeah, okay. It just came to me. So now, this is in an ether. AI has access to this. Now just see if just search your AI and see if it can come up and find this spinning gun barrel. It might come up with a Gatling gun or whatever, but will it come up with this PLeane gun? Now, if you're into black powder and you want to understand the dynamics and the trajectory of a spinning ball, this is the device to understand it. I was using it to understand my concept with I guess you could suppose the transition of neurotransmitters across the synaptic gap of a neurotransmitter. So let's just now have a pause and we'll move on to the pendulum. I just forgot to mention if you're looking at researching this PLeane gun for the AI experiment, this was developed in 2018, and if you go to my video around about 2018 you'll see this. So let's just clear the deck here and next go to our next little link in the chain that led me to this PLeane pendulum number 4. So I'll clear the deck. So here's another one of those weird experiences that happened to me. Several years ago, probably over 10 years ago, I made this little gift for a friend. This little object here. Gold plated it, and it basically is a little compass. So this thing comes off, goes on the bottom. Little needle falls out. And becomes a compass. It has some unique properties. And my friend placed this little compass on her windowsill for many years, and it sat there for many years. And it must have been 2 months ago, around about the time I was asking for help with this pendulum, we're discussing this little compass, and a friend said, "Oh, what happened to that little compass that you used to have on the windowsill?" And my friend said, "I put it away." He says, "Oh, okay. Yeah, that was really nice the way it quivered." And I thought, okay, I didn't think too much of it. And then a week ago, I was thinking of this compass, and that statement of the way it quivered. Okay, so basically, can you see that quivering now? This thing has decoupled from the earth. So all this time it's been staring us in the face that actual compasses, they decouple from the earth. Imagine the earth was turning underneath this compass and it wasn't locked to the North Pole. It actually decouples. So the earth will be allowed to go around just like what we're trying to achieve with our pendulum. So the magnetic field on the earth, although it's very weak, is enough to overcome the decouple from the earth, this friction. Alright, so that moves us on to our next point. So our next point is our pendulum. So, what's going on here? To move this. What the? I've got magnetic fingers. What the? Okay, must. Is this his magnets doing it? What the? Okay, I give up. There's a magnet here. I'll take the magnet on the other side of the room. It's so sensitive, it's picking up this magnet about so many metres away. Okay, I'm about 6 metres away now, 5 metres. No, 4 metres, sorry. 4 metres. That's definitely pointing a different way now, isn't it? I'll just stick that back. That's... That magnet surely wasn't doing that from over here. Is that moving now? Surely not. I give up. That's still moving. Okay, what I'll do is I'll earth this out. Maybe it's I don't think I've got magnetic fingers. Yeah, I give up. Anyway, let's move on. We haven't got time for this. Alright, move this away. That it's not electrostatic starch because that still moves when I earth it. Okay, put that away. Come back to that. Here we go. Pendulum. Magnet. So what I did was main focus when I was playing with my new bob, and I was trying to magnetise. I was coming up with the question: should we magnetise the bottom of the bob for our mechanical assist? You know, should it have a permanent magnet in there or not? And I didn't quite understand whether I should have or not. And then this thing here came to my head, and I thought, what would happen if we put the magnet inside the bob? Would it actually swing around? Just come out a bit. Would it actually turn if a magnet was placed inside the bob? This is quite a heavy bob. Would it actually turn and go to north? And I thought, oh, okay, this has been done before, surely. You know, okay, there's nothing new here. And then I looked on the internet, AI again. No one has ever put a magnet inside a Foucault pendulum. I think to myself, what is going on? There is millions of these things being invented around the world. Why hasn't someone put a magnet inside the bob? Don't tell me this is the first time this has ever been thought of again. There'd be a million out there with the magnet underneath, or electromagnets, making a bob, a pendulum, go in, you know, random matter, random events. But no one's actually put a magnet inside the bob. This is like that PLeane gun thing again, you know. What's going on? So let's go and see what happens when we put a magnet inside a bob. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we have my bob that I haven't disturbed for a while. I've got a compass and it's pointing north. So we've got north. Now the nearest magnet is about 3 metres away at the moment. So I'm too scared to do anything now after seeing that crazy thing before. So we're going to put a magnet The bulb has obviously got these two lines here at the front and one at the back. I'll put the magnet horizontally across that, and let's see what happens. So that's our situation. Let's see if it turns. So what do you think? Do you think the magnet's strong enough to turn this bulb? Let's have a look. Oh, that was good. That was brilliant, Peter. Roughly it was in that direction there. Yep, no problem. So we'll come back in 10 minutes, so if it settles down, let's see where it points. Okay, it's settled down now. It's been about 10 minutes. And it's clearly changed direction. It's pointing some direction that it wasn't pointing. I'll just go and remove the magnet now. Just see if it goes back to its original position. Try and carefully remove that. Pull it off. We'll come back in 10 minutes and just see if it goes back. Oh, it's already going back. That's just the residual torsion in the cable. It may swing back. So it's got a memory in the torsion of the cable. We'll come back another 10 minutes, see where it's settled. Alright, so it's settled back now to its original position. So if you stayed with this video long enough and put up through all my ums and ahs and slightly going off track a bit, the new PLeane pendulum number 4 will have a magnet in it, and it will swing directly north-south. So the concept being that this will be the first time you should see a pendulum swing without any deviation, because it should track theoretically the North Pole in a straight line, so there should not be any clockwise or anti-clockwise deviation. Now, to the best of my knowledge, no one has ever done this experiment. The closest this experiment would be if a pendulum was to swing on the equator. Now, from what I've heard, people have swung pendulums on the Foucault pendulums on the equator, and they've had very random results, from clockwise to anti-clockwise to going straight. So, to the best of my knowledge, no one has successfully proven a pendulum swings dead straight at the equator. So that's where we're up to. So please stay tuned for a new video now. I think we'll launch into a new concept. This has changed everything. If this thing goes in a straight line, we'll have to reinvent everything. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. So just to follow up that little compass thing, it is actually pointing north. I thought it might have been static on my feet that was moving it, so I'm shuffling my feet. It doesn't move. So those magnets are a long way away. I can't figure out what made it do that. Shuffling my feet, same shoes, same clothing. I can't make it move. Alright, something to think about. See you next video.